Hello and welcome to the Franchise Tag Betting Show, Week 6, brought to you by freebets.com. The very best free bet offers brought to you daily by the Free Bets team. Adam, your guys, freebets.com, what you got going on with them at the minute?
We have got loads going on. The NFL season has gone mental. Everything's happening at the moment. We had a bet builder for last night's game that failed miserably because I did it. We've got a bet builder specifically for the London games because we all love a London game, don't we? So we've got a bet builder for that one. There is an ACCA that will be out. I think actually both the ACCA and the bet builder for this week's London game between the Broncos and Jets is out already. So you can get that. And I think that's it. There's normally a weekly news one. I know this doesn't really mean a lot to any of I wouldn't say fans. God, I almost said that we had fans. Let's not say that. But, you know, for anyone watching, they've got me doing football content now.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. And a massive mistake, but I will endeavour to do my best when it comes to football content as well. So there's going to be some football stuff from me, and there is loads of stuff over there. So go over to freebets.com, check it all out. Lots of really good writers and the occasional winner as well from me sometimes.
Well, hopefully your football bets are better than your actual football team you support, because
that's rude and harsh and just overall very uncalled for, but probably fair. So, yes, the mighty Crawley Town are not doing particularly well at the moment. We play the top of the league tomorrow, and I will be going. We're at home, and we will probably lose.
Probably score, though. So if you want both teams to score, great bet.
They are good for both teams to score bet. That is very true.
Said there, everybody loves a London game. Is that a hint at the main show? Is that a hyperlink? Get yourself listening to the main show. See what
I think you should go. Yes, go over to the main show. Me and Fred did that. We went over the on-field and off-field issues that was there at Tottenham when it came to the who played. I was there. I've completely forgotten already.
the Browns and the Vikings.
The Browns and the Vikings. Yeah. It was a bit of a dull game, I would say. It wasn't great. And let's just say a lot of people had some off-field experiences.
Well, do you know what wasn't a dull game, Adam? Last night's game. The New York Giants beating the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17. Giants on offense looked absolutely great out the gate. I think this is now 3 consecutive games they've scored on the opening drive, which is something we haven't done since 2022, I think. So, or we've only had 3 since 2022. So, it's things are looking right with Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, Cam Scarborough, the energy that they bring to the whole team, the veterans, everything. They just look like they're having great fun, and the fans look like they're having fun with them, which is a first for the Giants for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Well, definitely for the fans. It's been a while. I imagine it's been since Eli? Would that have been the last time that there was any real sort of excitement?
Well, we got to the playoffs and won a playoff game with Daniel Jones, and I think there was hope, but not excitement.
Yeah, but I think you all secretly knew, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I did stay up and I watched a little bit of it, and I did think to myself so they announced Jalen Carter was going to be out quite close to kickoff. I thought, I do wonder if that means they might get a bit more of the run game going against the Eagles. And then I saw the first couple of drives and I saw how easy it was for Jackson Dart to get in for his touchdown and just move the ball, and how Scatterbo did do quite a lot. And I was like, I kind of gave up and went to bed at that point. But I kind of had it in my head where I thought I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a close game. That was where I thought it was going to be, which I thought was being pretty kind to you guys. But yeah, the Eagles struggling at the moment. I think offensively, they're just not doing what they did last year. And was odd. You made a point actually. I know we've kind of gone way off the betting show, but you actually made a point where you came out and said that the very first drive of the Eagles was predominantly Barkley running, and they looked good.
Yeah. What, 45 yards on the first
Yeah.
drive?
Well, I think it was the first two plays, wasn't it? It was both for drive. One was like 17, one was like 12, and then just then, yeah, we don't need to do that anymore.
They went behind and then went, oh no, panic stations. We're behind by 3.
Yeah.
What should we do? Let's force Jalen Hurts to try and force throwing plays to both AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, and just not. And then the run game just collapsed, and the Giants' defense just were all over them after that, and they couldn't get anything going. It's they've lost their identity. Which is odd for a team that won the Super Bowl last year and had a clear identity. And all of a sudden, the team's not changed a lot, and it's gone. So yeah, they need to find their identity quickly. I think maybe they need to take a look at what Detroit are doing with their dual running backs and go, let's go back to the run game, and maybe having 2 really high-end running backs is a good thing. And they go out and get someone else to partner with Saquon and lean on that run game again.
Yeah, it's strange. And I do feel like, everyone's going, oh, it's the offense, but the defense hasn't been great either. And, giving up the amount of points they did is not brilliant for them. So that's a little concerning as well. So, yeah, I think it's kind of like both sides of the ball are kind of struggling a little bit, which is,
they've got a lot of injuries on the defense, haven't they? So
they do, and as I say, Jalen Carter didn't play, and I do think he makes quite a big difference to that team. So I think that doesn't help as well. But yeah, it's it's you got to take the positives for the Giants. I mean, Christ, it's been horrific for God knows how long. So they got to have something at some point, haven't they?
Yeah, it's good to watch. Well, we'll get into some betting. Last week, Adam, my 2 trebles, my early treble and my late treble. My early treble came in at 20. What did we say? 24 to 1 was it? Yeah,
20 to 1.
20 to 1. That came in. Lovely, happy days. And then my evening treble, which was 30 to 1, was let down by DiMaccaro dropping the ball at the goal line rather than just holding it and walking in. So a bit disappointed.
What's that all about?
I don't know. Maybe
as a celebration, it feels odd.
For some reason, maybe it's this new era of social media and everybody wants to look good and look great. And for some reason, they're more bothered about their image and things like that than just holding the ball and walking in and looking boring doing it. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that, but it's become quite a common thing now. Even I don't know if you've seen the new TV series Chad Powers.
No.
Obviously the spin-off from Character that Eli Manning played, but it happens in that. So I know that's not real; it's a TV show, but they're already picking up on that being a thing. Yeah, interesting. It's happened in the last couple of weeks. We've seen some big names do it as well. It's not just the rookies. So yeah, really, really interesting. And then we didn't have a great FTAG5 last week. There was some very odd results. So hopefully we can bounce back because we've had winning. I say winning. We've had 3 or more winners most weeks. With the FTAG5, we had the 4-1, which was really unlucky with the game that let us down as well. So hopefully we can get back on track this week. So let's jump in and take a look at some of the odds. Odds brought to you by 888 this time, as we've been let down by Bet365 over the last few weeks. So we'll get right into it. The first one I've gone for, Adam, is the Chargers. Let's just make sure we've got the same odds because I did it yesterday. Chargers. Matt, it's slightly different. It's at -3.5 against the Dolphins. I know the Chargers have had injuries on the O-line and they've had injuries at running back, but they've still got Justin Herbert. They've still got those 3 wide receivers that look great. And the Dolphins look like they're about ready to trade any asset they can and rebuild for next year. Now, they've lost Tyreek Hill for the season, maybe forever. You might not see him in a Dolphins jersey again. Achan might be one of those players that gets traded. So there's not a lot going for the Dolphins. They probably should have got a win last week, but just don't look great. I think we might see Bradley Chubb on his way out as well, maybe. And the Chargers, I think they're still in the hunt to get to the playoffs and get healthy. They're probably one of the teams that will trade 4 people to get stronger. So at -3.5, I'm going to take the Chargers this week against a very poor Dolphins team.
Yeah, the -3.5 is a bit frustrating, obviously. The Chargers, I don't know. They've got so many problems with the O-line, and it's really causing issues for them. You know, they lost to the Giants. They then lost again last week. It is a bit of a concern that this is happening, and I don't. In theory, the Chargers are the better team by quite a long way, and even with the injury, should win this game, because the Dolphins are a team that have kind of imploded a little bit and just aren't very good. Basically, is what's happened. It's like the offense just isn't really doing that much. The defense gives up a ton of points, so it does feel like you would want you would expect Justin Herbert to be able to essentially pass his way out of trouble in this game. So that's kind of where I think we are. There is a bit of a concern with Quentin Johnson. He's got a hamstring injury, so we don't 100% know if he's going to play. But Keenan Allen should be good. Lab McConkey should be good. It was good to see McConkey get going last week. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's kind of one that I'm a little bit worried that there might be an upset here, because of what's happening with the Chargers and their offensive line. And they have lost a lot of the offensive line, and it has restricted them quite a lot compared to what they had before. So that kind of is a little bit worrying. But the Dolphins are a bit sort of nothingy kind of thing. So I get where you're coming from. I'm not against it. I'm just not sure if I'm for it. I'm kind of sitting on the fence on it a little bit, I think, with this one, because I think the Dolphins might have found something with Darren Waller here.
Yeah, definitely good.
And although that means that they're not going to be amazing and put up like 30, 40 points every game, I do wonder if it means that they will be able to be competitive in games like this, especially with all of the injuries on the Chargers. So it's, yeah, the 3.5 is a little bit not overly keen. But I can see why you've done it.
Oh, have we heard the news of whether Tua's 100% playing? Wasn't there a thought that he might not play?
I mean, if Tua's not playing, I would assume that line will increase dramatically. So I'm going to go with the fact that they reckon that he is going to play. I haven't heard anything about whether he will or not. I know he did pop up on the injury report, but
Tua's hip injury apparently will play. But yeah, playing with an injury.
I mean, he spends his life playing with an injury, doesn't he?
Yeah, permanent concussion. Yeah. I also think that McConkey getting in the end zone last week, which I called, it was in the
yeah, I do agree on that. That will help them.
I think he's gonna kick on, and McConkey's gonna be the one to, if you want to put him in receptions, yardage, and touchdown bets, then I'd be keen put him in your bet builders. So I think he's going to
Yeah.
be good this week. Just not convinced on the Dolphins. My next one I have got is the New England Patriots at -3.5 against the New Orleans Saints. The Patriots getting that big win over the Bills. Looks like they're ready to kick on. Looks like it's gelling well. As I think again, if they hadn't have had all those fumbles over the season, I think some of their games might have gone a different way. And I think that the injury to Gibson means they might use Travion Henderson a bit more, who hasn't put the ball on the floor. And we saw what Judkins can do. And we liked Henderson more than Judkins from Ohio State. So really like the Patriots in this position. Think they're ready to kick on. They've got a nice group of games coming up now. The next 4 or 5 games are going to be good for them, that they can get some wins. So I think this is where they start their push to get a wild card spot, and they start with a win over the Saints and a convincing win as well. I think they can cover the 3.5 here. I think the Saints got away with a win against the Giants last week because their Giants again had 5 drives in a row where they turned the ball over, and I think without that, Saints lose the game, and we're not really talking about them being close in this one. So Patriots for the win in this one, and clearly by 7-10, I think.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think the -3.5 is a good one for the Patriots here. As you say, I think they've put themselves in a position by beating the Bills, certainly, that they really have the potential to kick on here. And I think that really is quite the statement win, to be able to go to Buffalo and win that game. And although they haven't got the best receivers, and you could argue that the run game through Ramondre Stevenson, he's good, but he's not great. And
he's been playing well. He just
he just keeps throwing the ball away.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and then you've got a defense that obviously has been lacking Christian Gonzalez, and they now look like a team that can really kick on and have. Me and Fred spoke about the Patriots on the chat show, and we were a little bit. Fred was like, they have the ability to win this division now, and I was a little bit like, well, I'm not completely sold on it, but what I am sold on is there was a market I saw, and I think it was to make the divisional round, and they were about 11-5. And I was like, that's the bet that I quite like the look of, because I sort of think to myself, they look like a wild card team. With teams like the Ravens and the Bengals sort of like falling apart, it feels like they could become a team that gets the 5th seed. If you look at their schedule, they could be that team, in which case they're playing the worst team in the AFC that wins their division, sort of thing. So you might find they get a reasonably favourable matchup. So yeah, I like the Patriots. I think they're doing well. They've sorted stuff out. I think Vrabel's done a great job there, which we said, didn't we? We had him down as one of the ones for Coach of the Year, and yeah, I think that he will do really well going up against the Saints team. That I think the Saints they're clearly lacking in quality, but they give it a go. That's in fairness to them. They do try pretty hard, and I think Spencer Rattler's been decent. He's been all right for them, and
Chris Olave's been good.
Chris Olave's been good. Shaheed's been all right for them. I worry that obviously with Kamara I think he's got a heel injury, is it? So there's talk about that he might not play, or if he does, not too much. And also there's a lot of rumours about this team trading away a lot of their players.
Yeah.
You told me Olave that you had seen. I've seen Shaheed today has been rumoured to be going. Kamara is another. There's it's a concern, and will they be really up for it?
There seems to be a lot of traction for Kamara to the Chiefs. A lot of traction on Olave to. Apparently the Bills have showed interest and actually asked. So Bills, Steelers, and someone else, I think, have all said they're interested. And then I've seen the Steelers also inquire about Shaheed as well. So, yeah, there could be a few people gone from that team. But yeah, very interesting one for them. I really like the Patriots. Like I say, I think that win against the Bills was a really good confidence booster for Drake May as well, who had his sort of turnover issues a few times this year. So I think that's really good for him. I think again, we said it before the season started, they could be a wild card team. Just not sure the consistency of them when they get there, if they're going to be good enough to push past the wild card. So really good for them though to build on. My next game, Adam, I've gone now. If they're going to, are they still giving it me at the same odds, or have they learned? No, well, I got it at better odds. Might be better odds on Bet365 as well. They're now -3.5. I got it -3, and I am taking the Cowboys in most games unless they're playing one of the big boys, and they're not. They're at the Panthers. If you can get them at -3, always put your money on them, because they're going to be in shootouts all year long, and their offense, despite the loss of CD Lamb, who there's talks of him being back, possibly this game, definitely next week, potentially. Either way, doesn't matter, because Javonte Williams and George Pickens have been fantastic in the absence, and if I can get them within a field goal or a field goal, I'm taking them, because they're going to put points up on the board, because that's what they're doing, and they're playing a Panthers team that can hang around in games, and if they do, that's dangerous, but they give up points early in games, and I think if that's the case, I think the Cowboys will maybe put on a display like they did last week, and maybe push on and win this by 10 plus. That's the possibility of this one.
Yeah, the Panthers defense isn't great, and as you say, they've given up leads quite easily in games early on, and I think as the problem that they're going to have with if they do that here, is that the Cowboys offense is just putting up a lot of points, and I think they know they have to, because that's how bad their defense is. So it's like the Cowboys know they have to put up a lot of points. Dak is looking great, and like you say, Javonte Williams has been good. George Pickens has been good. Jake Ferguson had a really good game last week, and he's been decent as well. And I think you're just kind of, what you're probably going to see from the Cowboys this year is that it is going to be a case of they are going to probably overpower the weak defenses, and they will sort of struggle, and it becomes a shootout, or so like offensively, I think they'll always be okay, and it will become a shootout, but you're going to end up losing as many games like that as you will win them when you're playing good teams. I think that's the problem. In this one, they're playing against a Panthers team that I think they can overpower pretty comfortably, and so -3.5 is not really a concern for me. If you're doing over-unders, do over 49.5. I think you'll get more than 50 points in this game, because the Panthers can score points. They, like you say, they can come back in games. They did it against the Cardinals earlier in the season when they were like 27 points to 3 down or something, and they came back and put up like another 21 points. So they are a team that can score points. I don't think their offense is as powerful as the Cowboys' offense, and that's probably what's going to win you the game in this one.
Mm-hmm. Like I say, I think if it gets into a shootout, -3 is always going to be good for the Cowboys. We said that last week, and it worked for us, and we said it in one of the other games as well, and it's worked for us. So next game up is the Buffalo Bills. I've taken the Bills for a bit of a bounce back. They are playing the Atlanta Falcons at -4.5. The Falcons still looking like the Falcons of last year, where there's all the hope and all the expectation, and some games they look good and some games it's just not there. And then the Bills are going to be looking to bounce back really strong this week. So at -4.5, I'm okay taking that. I just think Josh Allen's going to be MVP Josh Allen in this game, and the James Cook will be better. Keon Coleman's looked good. Kincaid has looked great this season so far. So I'm going to take the Bills to win this one comfortably.
Yeah, I think they win it. I think they win it. I think they'll cover it. I think that they're a good enough team to do that. Like you say, they're going to want to bounce back. They don't come across as though they're a team that is going to capitulate just because they've had one loss. Like you say, I think Josh Allen will probably sort of like galvanise them and get a win here. And they're going up against the Falcons team that just, I don't know what you're dealing with really with the Falcons. They're kind of a bit nothingy. I think the defense is okay, but not great. And the offense, Michael Penix he's at times he's looked all right, and then times he's really, really struggled. And
I don't think their O-line's up to scratch for what they want to do.
no,
Michael Penix needs a clean pocket and he can use his gun. And then they've got Bijan who needs the lanes and support. And I just think the O-line isn't quite good enough this season for what that team wants to do.
Yeah, and as you've said before, when you remember Penix, so when he was in college, it was very much sort of like big bombs down the field to like McMillan and Adunze, and they don't really do that. They don't really have that wide receiver to do that, and they kind of feel like a team that needs to trade for like a Shaheed. That would kind of make sense for them if they had someone like that, because they just like Mooney's not really that speed kind of guy, and London's sort of like your big slot receiver predominantly. Pitts obviously is kind of like a big slot receiver as well. So it's a little bit like there's no real speed option. It feels like they need someone.
I could see them going after a Jacoby Myers. I think that would be quite good.
Do you think he's a speed option though?
I'm not saying necessarily they need an all-out speed. So I just think they need better wide receivers, someone to pair with Drake London. I think if you can get that, then it'll be good. I think.
Yeah. Mooney's been injured, hasn't he, a bit, and he's sort of missed time, and he hasn't really got going this season. He was decent from last year, but sort of struggled. I think the Bills will just overpower them, and the -4.5 is fine. You're just making me wait again because it's on Monday Night Football, though, aren't you?
Wow, what am I supposed to do? There's more. Yet again, there's a load of late games and 2 Monday games, isn't there? So, it's I don't know why they keep doing this. Put more games on Sunday, please. Then my last one I've gone for is the Indianapolis Colts. Just checking, they are. Where are you? Can't find them.
Near the top.
Did you see them?
Yeah.
Still can't find them. I'm just going to go off. Oh, there they are. Just moved out a little bit. -7.5 now. I've got it at -7 yesterday against the Cardinals. It was a touchdown. So the 0.5 is a bit worrying, but I'm still going to take it. The Arizona Cardinals, to me, look terrible. They've lost both their running backs. They're not getting Marvin Harrison Jr. involved. There's parts of the game where they look good, and then there's parts of the games, we've said this, where it's just not there. Last year, it was game to game, where some games they look great and some games they look terrible. It's now during the game now, quarter to quarter, where they could look great or look bad. So Indianapolis Colts look really, really good. Daniel Jones is playing at a very high level this season. Jonathan Taylor, absolutely fantastic. And that defense has been solid all year, even with the injuries. So I think a couple of trades for them, and they'll be in with the shout as well. I think, if they could go out and get themselves a bit of depth at cornerback, they'll be a contending team for when it comes to the playoffs. So, happy to take the what was -7. I think I'm still going to take them at 7.5. I think they can win this game by 14 points. I think that's the possibility with them, with how easily their offense is putting points upon everyone they play, on most drives as well. So I'm going to take the Colts over the Cardinals, who may start trading people away. I don't know.
Yeah, it's this whole Colts thing has just completely bypassed, I think, the majority of us, to be honest. None of us saw it coming. And yes, Daniel Jones has been really good for them. I think Tyler Warren's been great. And but also the other weapons, Michael Pittman's looked back to how he was. Josh Downs has been a little quiet, but they've got
Josh Downs and Alec Pierce have both been quieter than we've seen.
Alec Pierce was injured, wasn't he, for a little bit? He missed a couple of weeks, but they have been a little bit quiet, but they look all right. And obviously Jonathan Taylor's been great, so. Yeah, I mean, I would normally not want to go for one this big, just purely because of how big it is, but it's difficult to say no, because the Colts are just steamrolling certain team. It's like you say 14. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they won it by like 20 with what they're doing at the moment. They're just putting up so many points, and they're going up against the Cardinals team that you just can't have any confidence in. It's like you've got this team that's sort of like, I mean, like I say, against the Panthers, that was the real alarm bells, was when they played the Panthers, and they were like 27-3 up, and they still won that game, but it ended up like 27-22, and they just gave points away at the end of it, and they put themselves in positions where they can do something, and then they just give stuff away. I mean, last week was just, they were at a point, if DeMarcado hadn't done what he'd done and he just ran in with it and got the touchdown, they would have been something like, was it something like 17 points up or something? I think it would have been like 29-12, but instead they weren't. So it ended up and the Titans came back. I mean, a team that hadn't won all season in the first 4 weeks of the year, hadn't looked like winning, came back and pretty much, in that last quarter, pretty much destroyed them. We don't know if Kyler Murray is definitely playing or not. He's missed a couple of practices, but he did practice today, apparently. So I don't know if that makes much difference. I would say probably that the line might come in a little bit once they say that he's playing. So I would say hold fire on doing the bet until Sunday because of it. But I don't think that actually makes them any better, because I just feel like Mummy's not playing very well either. They're not getting Marvin Harrison involved anywhere near enough. It's so strange. They sort of like, it's like they give him 3 targets on the first drive and then they just stop.
Actively using him as a decoy. It's the oddest thing I've seen. They've got a look how good the recruits are doing. I've said this before, from Ohio, and they've got one of the big names. It was a surefire hit, and they're using him as a decoy to get other players like Wilson and McBride open. So just throw him the ball. How much longer do you think Drew Petzing is going to be the offensive coordinator? I think he's on the hot seat massively. He might be one of the first to go, I reckon. I think it won't be long before he's out the door.
Yeah, they're 2-3, aren't they? I mean, it might not be long for Jonathan Gannon either, the way things are going.
Well,
I mean, going along and punching your players probably isn't the way forward. So, I mean, and getting fined by the team, I might add, not by the NFL as well. So, doesn't bode well. I think there's something not right there. And as you say, normally what head coaches do is they take out the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator first. So, yeah, I think that Petsy could be on his way relatively quickly.
Well, that's the FTAG5. It's 24.39 to 1. You weren't overly keen on the Chargers one I had in. So what game did I miss, Adam? What are you putting in this bet?
Well, I'm not keen on doing big numbers, as you know. However, it's difficult. Can my ACCA void be part of the same thing?
No, we need two separate ones. Come on.
You want two separate things? Okay. So the one I'm going to say then is the LA Rams at -7.5. Lamar Jackson isn't playing for the Ravens. He's still out injured. I know there's been talk that he might, but he's not going to play. That would be madness, to be honest, if he did play. They've got the bye next week, so you might as well just let him rest up and carry on. The defense can't do anything. We saw the Texans completely dismantle them 44-10 in Baltimore. I could see exactly the same happening again here. I'm not keen on the fact that it's 7.5 because it's a lot, but I just don't see how the Ravens put up points or enough points. I know they're saying that they're going to move on from Cooper Rush and they're going to put Snoop Huntley out there. I don't think it makes much difference. He'll use his legs more than what Cooper Rush will, but it's not a significant improvement, and so I don't think they score a lot of points. And they're the worst defense in the league. They've conceded the most points over the first 5 weeks, and I don't see how it suddenly changes when you're not getting any better or any of your injured players back. It's like it just carries on until after the bye, I think. So -7.5 for the Rams. Also, I think the Rams have just improved. I think Devontae Adams has really improved them, and they look good. And I know that they've kind of not won all their games. They're 3-2, but I do feel like I feel like they've played some tough teams in the first 5 weeks, and they've had a hard schedule, and eventually they'll come good and sort of like end up doing well in that division. So yeah, I'm going to go for them.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a good bet. I think it was just the 0.5 maybe. It put me off a little bit. What is your ACCA void?
My ACCA void is Kansas City Chiefs at -2.5 on Sunday Night Football.
Are you surprised that they are the favourites in this game, despite the last couple of results and how well the Lions have been playing? Week 1, fair enough, week 1 anomaly, but they've just been destroying people after that for fun. So are you surprised Chiefs are the favourites?
I think had this been, I think the Ravens game has probably encouraged this to happen. The fact that they beat the Ravens and they put 37 points up shows that they can put points up. The Lions defense is good, but not great. So I think they probably think that the Chiefs will put a decent amount of points up in this game, which is probably why the over-under is 53.5. But it's difficult to not back the Lions at what they're doing offensively. They're just putting so many points up, and yeah, they do give up points as well, but not in the same way as like a Cowboys team or anything like that. They do look all right on defense. So yeah, it's one of them things where I think the reason that they're favourites is they're at home. I think they'll go for the whole Mahomes factor at home on Sunday Night Football. They're the Chiefs. They'll they'll get the win and all that. Didn't like how they finished against the Jags. That to me is a bit concerning. And this Lions offense is I would say much stronger than the Jags offense. So yeah, it wasn't keen on the sort of optics of I know a lot of people went for Chris Jones, but it wasn't just Chris Jones. There was a few people there at the very end. They just sort of stopped. And they probably stopped because they thought that Lawrence was down and all that sort of thing, but it's not a great look. So yeah, I would avoid the Chiefs at -2.5.
Yeah, I was two games. I didn't know which one you were going to go for, so I was going to ask you about the Lions and Chiefs game if you went for the other one. My other one was the Jags game, Jags Seahawks.
Yeah, it's another difficult one, isn't it? The Seahawks -1.5 favourites.
I'm not touching that game.
No, yeah, I kind of agree. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of them sort of games where it's a little bit like, don't know, they're a bit close. I think the 49ers Buccaneers one is another one where I can see a lot of points, but I'm not sure which way it ends up being. But yeah, I mean, it's very close. It's -1.5. I try and make it over 3 points for the Avoid, and I know I haven't done that with the Lions and the Chiefs game, but yeah, it's difficult with the Seahawks because they looked really, really good, and I'm still not sold on the Jags offense. I'm really not.
That's what it is. I'm not sold on the Jags offense.
Yeah.
I really like the Seahawks offense and defense. Just I don't know. Let's move on to some trebles. I'll go first. I had the winners last week, so I'll go first this week. Why not?
God, look at him. He had a winner and he's all excited.
Yeah, slightly smaller odds than what you usually get from me, but I still think it's a good bet. I've gone with the hot pans as well. I've gone with Michael Pittman at 33-20. I've gone with George Pickens at 11-10, and Lad McConkey at 21-10 at 16.5-1. I think Pittman's been in. He's been in five times in the last 4 games. Pickens has been in every game, I think, and McConkey got off the mark last week. And as I said earlier, I think he continues now to crack on with where we saw him last year. I thought 16.5-1 on those 3 players seems a bit of a steal.
So who do you say? Pittman, McConkey, and
Pickens.
Pickens. Yeah. I had all 3 of them down for their games. 16.5-1. Yeah, it's not a bad one. It really isn't. And I think Pittman's in a team that's going to score plenty of points, so that's always a good one. McConkey, I worry for. I think he's going to have to throw the ball. So I think in that respect, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I think I go McConkey and Allen. They're the 2 that's mainly going to go to. And yeah, I mean, I think it's 16.5-1. It's not a bad shout. Right. Are you ready for this exciting tight end treble?
I've got a tight end fourfold that wasn't going to talk about for the show, but I bet you've got some of the same names because that fourfold was 90-1.
Yeah, it might well be actually. Darren Waller for the Miami Dolphins. I think with Tyreek not there anymore, I think he's become the offense over these last 2 weeks, and I don't really see why that changes. So yeah, Darren Waller, 9-4 on 888, 11-4 on Paddy Power. AJ Barner.
Yep.
Seattle Seahawks. Picked him up. I picked him last week. He was 5-1 on Paddy Power. He's now 3-1. And I think that Seahawks Jags game could be quite a high scoring game.
Can I guess your last one?
You can.
Are they 2-1?
Well, he was 7-4 last night.
Is it Hunter Henry?
It is Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots, who I had him last week or the week before. I can't remember. I had him somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, Darren Waller, AJ Barner, Hunter Henry. Is your 4th one Tyler Warren?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anyway, so with 888, it came out as 34.75-1. However, if you're a real mad person and want to go even higher, go to Paddy Power and get it at 41-1. There you go.
Or if you want to add one more tight end in there, because
Or
I
if
had
you want
those
to add
three
one
guys
more,
and get it to 90-1, you add in
who?
Jake Ferguson.
Okay, yeah. I
That's all.
might do. I
Just
may
Jake
do that for
Ferguson.
Ferguson.
It's worth
Yeah,
£2.50. If not, come on.
that's true.
My
I like
evening.
it. I like the I was looking at it. I was struggled a little bit. I found a lot of like the guys that you were talking about, the sort of like smaller ones, and it all kind of felt a bit small. But yeah, 41-1. I was like, that's huge.
My evening treble. I've gone with Romeo Dobbs, 9-5. Still think he's the go-to guy there, although Tucker Craft is back. Love Dobbs for a touchdown. Against the Bengals as well. I think there's going to be points to be had against that defense. I've gone with the classic. I've had him every week. I think he's paid off every single week, and his odds are still decent. I've gone with Emeka Egbuka at 27-20. And then I thrown in a bit of a rogue one. He's been in the end zone a few times, and I'm just not sold on this Raiders team. And the odds are fantastic on him. I've gone with Alec Iomenor at 3-1. Brings me in at 25.5-1. You're nodding like you've had the exact same treble.
So this is going to be a bit boring, this one, because I have gone for Romeo Dobbs. I did. What did you do? Did you do it on Bet365?
Yeah.
Okay, I did it on. I got 15-8 on 888. Romeo Dobbs. I then went for Egbuka at 6-5 on 888, and now I'm stuck because I have got. It's a horrible game, isn't it? The Titans against the Raiders. Genuinely, who cares? This is the only reason that anyone would care, because they've done a touchdown treble involving this game. So I'm at an impasse here. I don't know which one to go for. Now I have Jacoby Myers at 7-4. Or the other one that I wrote down was Alec Iomenor at 3-1. If you go for the Myers, Dobbs, and Egbuka one, it's 16.39-1 with AAA. And obviously, as you say, with Iomenor, it's 25 and a little bit. So I like the Iomenor one. I think that I felt like we saw the Titans sort of develop a little bit and actually be able to do something, and that wasn't really through the run game. You know, it came through Cam Ward and showed that he's got a bit of ability and he would be able to do something. So yeah, I really like the Iomenor one, and it's probably the way that I'm going to go. So I would not put anyone off of that one at all.
I think he's got more of a relationship with him than Calvin Ridley as well. I think Calvin Ridley's been quite
absolutely,
and Iron Man has been quite, but he's been good.
And Okonkwo's just not been involved. He's like been very, very quiet. So yeah, I really like that. I had it written down, and I think you're probably right. The other two, yeah, Dobbs and Egbuka definitely. But yeah, a bit of a boring one for the late ones, I'm afraid. Only 3 games, and we've gone and picked the same guys. But maybe it's because they're going to win.
Yeah, well, maybe we know what we're on about. Maybe
Whoa! Less of that. Less of that.
Well, that's all we've got time for. I think there was a few other big odd ones I was going to. Oh, there was one I was going to bring up.
He's got excited. Watch out.
So lots of talk that maybe Jamar Chase might be out for the Bengals. Yoshivas, 10-1.
Really?
10-1. If they got Joe Flacco at quarterback, might open something up. I don't know.
I don't know if I really want to back against my own team.
You're 40 points up, garbage time, Yoshivas.
Okay, fair enough.
That's it. But that's the last one I'll give you before we sign off. But best of luck to all your teams. Best of luck to all your bets. Keep it with the franchise tag, and see you again very